Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. If you can start to take your seats, and we'll be commencing very shortly. Just a bit of the usual housekeeping before I begin. Most of you are aware of how we do the IAAF press conferences. They're in two halves. Well, actually, this press conference, like we began last year, is actually in three parts. We have our distinguished guests with us now. We will then have a photo call. We'll then bring up some of the legends of our past history in this sport, and then continuing with some of the continuing legends of our current sport. So three parts. As I said, please... can we have the doors shut at the back, maybe? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, warm welcome to the IAAF BTC World Relays Press Conference, Bahamas 2015. Very delighted to be joined here today by IAAF President Lamine Diack, Esther Gabriel, IAAF General Secretary, Keith Parker, the Executive Chairman of the LOC, immediately to our President's left, then Mike Sands, the Vice Chairman of the LOC, and then finally, right at the far end, but last but certainly not least, Managing Director of the LOC, Lionel Haven. Without further ado, I'd like to ask our President, President Diack, to say an opening address on behalf of the IAAF. Please, President.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second edition of the IAAF BTC World Relays. Last year, we witnessed a wonderful, successful event, a colorful festival of athletics, which was topped by 3 world records. Success is a powerful magnet, and we are therefore delighted this year that the world's fastest man, Usain Bolt, will be competing here. He is joined by fellow reigning world and Olympic champions Allyson Felix, Chilean Fraser-Price, Sanjay Richards, Lesho Merit. In total, over 40 countries consisting in 600 athletes will be competing this year. The best relay squad in the world have been attracted by major incentive. Already the prize money, $1,500,000 in prize money across the 10 relay events, including $50,000 for each victory. There is an additional $50,000 for world record bonus. The top 8 teams in both men and women, 4x4 and 4x1 and 4x4, will also automatically qualify for the Rio Olympic Games. The creation of the IAAF World Relays is the latest example of athletic continual evolution as a sport. The IAAF is especially pleased that this exciting new competition has found a natural home in the Bahamas, a nation with a rich and successful history in the relays. Bahamians are enthusiastically taken the world relay to their hearts. We are therefore delighted that the Bahamas will also be the host of the next edition, which took place in 2 years' time in 2017. The organization of the IAAF World Relay is a team effort. The IAAF would like to thank the local organizing committee, the government of the Bahamas, the Bahamas Association of Athletics, and official partner and suppliers, and national partner and suppliers for their support. We send our special thanks to the volunteers, without whom this event could not take place. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, President. I'd now like to ask Keith Parker to make his address on behalf of the local organising committee. Please, Mr. Parker.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, President Diak. Members of the press, welcome to Nassau. I'm delighted to see that the number of press has almost doubled, I think, from last year. And we were grateful to the incredible coverage we got worldwide last year. So I'm looking forward to possibly double that coverage this year. I can assure you that the organising committee, the LOC, has worked extremely hard with our IAAF consultants to make the event this year even more entertaining, enjoyable for the athletes, and we hope more newsworthy even for the press. And with those few words, I would just like to say thank you all for coming, and we hope you have a really good BTC IAAF Bahamas 2015 relays. Thank you all.
Thank you, Keith, and like the relays, that's short and sweet, which is excellent because I know you all want to ask your questions, so please raise your hand. We have mobile microphones which will be brought to you. Raise your hand, and if you have a question, we'll be delighted to receive it. Renee, please. Wait, Renee, the microphone will come to you. Has somebody got the microphones? The microphone is coming to you. Second row there, thank you.
I have a question. How is the future of this competition? When is the next? And is it every year or in 2 years?
Would you like to address that?
It will be every 2 years. We had the 2 editions successively, 14 and 15. But we already decided the next one will be 17, and 17 will be also in Bahamas.
Good morning, Olive Manon from Jamaica. I've noted that you said the next edition of the World Relays would be in Bahamas. Any special reason why any other countries, except especially Jamaica, could not have been considered for the next staging or future stagings?
Well, I think possibly in the future, but I think we had this event in our mind for a long time, saying, okay, we have to organize it. People are thinking about new events, but nothing is better than the release. But we have to find a country ready to face all the obligation of this event. And we were very keen to see Bahamas saying, we come. We are ready to make it. It's a country of relay, and fortunately, and saying, I'm ready to continue to be to stage it every year. We said, no, we cannot do that. We can do it 14 and 15, and possibly 17, because we came to 2. After it will be open. But for these 3 editions, it will be with great consideration for Jamaica, for Trinidad and Tobago, for this part of the world where relay is very important. But we will be in Bahamas. I am very keen to be able to come in 2 years' time as a tourist and in 15 days of holiday and watch it. Thank you.
Any more questions? Please just raise your hand.
Right here. Good afternoon. Brent Stubbs from the Tribune. To any members of the local organizing committee, this must be a gratifying feeling to know on the eve of the second edition that we have now secured the 3rd one. How do you guys feel about this announcement today?
I think we're all delighted, but I'd like Mike Sands, who, in addition to his role with the LOC, is of course the president of the Bahamas IAAF. And Mike has feelings as to how this is of great assistance in promoting track and field athletics among young Bahamians. Mike, do you want to address that?
Well, I'll only add that we are grateful for the confidence that the IAAF has displayed in the Bahamas, and by extension, its member federation, the B3As. And we look forward to continue hosting the next edition for Bahamazing edition number 3. And they say, to my dear friend from Jamaica, the reason why, that's why we say it's better in the Bahamas.
I'm sure we'll see equally competitive action on the track in the next couple of days. Any questions? All right, fair. Yeah.
Has there been, this is Gordon from FlowTrack, has there been any consideration on the time of when the World Relays is in 2017? A lot of athletes, especially in the European countries, don't start their season till late. Is there been any consideration to do it in September after a World Championship? Has that been brought up at all?
I think already we have been discussed. I think we have a competition commission who is very strong. I think many members of the council are already in. I used to tell them that when they finish their discussion in the competition commission, it's not necessary to come to the council, because I think 90% of them, they are from council member. And we discuss on the, you see, this year was very difficult to say. We came next year, last year we were 24, 25. It was better to have it at this moment, that at the beginning of May, but we had it. But we discussed it and we came to the conclusion that it is better to make it at this moment.
Any more questions? Yep, and again in the front.
This one perhaps for Mr. Haven. Can you give an indication of the financial investment that the Bahamas has placed in the staging of these relays and the value that you have seen in return?
Okay, I guess if we were to look at the event from last year, we could look at the contributions of the government or the investment in the event. Last year would have been a unique year for us because in addition to just covering the operational activities, we also had some capital investments to do. We had to resurface the track, and there was a lot of infrastructural work to do in and around the stadium. So the investment would have been somewhere around the vicinity of $9 million all told. The economic impact, however, of that investment on the economy in the Bahamas was about $26 million. We had a team out of Canada come in and do a survey. Caribbean, I think it was Canadian Sports Tourism Association, and they would have done a survey and a look at what the impact was on the overall economy. That matrix would have encompassed a lot of things. So this year, of course, our expenses are going to be a lot less because we don't have the capital infrastructure. We don't know the final figures yet. Of course, we're still very heavily engaged in it, and we should have some idea of that within the next month or so.
Raise your last hand. I'm sure we've just been joined by three great legends of our sport immediately to my right. So if we can see one last chance for a question before we do. Okay, at the back. 3 rows from the back, please, on this side of the room. Great bit of sprinting as the microphone comes round to you here. And a lovely baton exchange. Oh, gosh.
Merci beaucoup. Gérard Pommier, vous avez parlé des très grands athlètes internationaux. Vous en avez vu beaucoup aux Bahamas, dont une grande championne, qui était donc Pauline Davis-Thompson. Est-ce que cette dernière athlète, dont j'ai gardé d'un grand souvenir, est impliqué dans l'organisation, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
I will just translate for our friends in English. You have great athletes in the Bahamas, and historically they're inclusive of a great champion, which is Pauline Davis-Thompson. Would you be able to indicate to us if she's been part of this organization, playing a role in the organization of the World Championships, the World Relays here, sorry. World Championships maybe another time.
We are very fortunate to have the likes of Pauline Davis-Thompson and our other Golden Girls and our Golden Knights, and yes, they play a very significant role in what we do. We have an organizational structure that recognizes the IAAF as the head of that structure, and Pauline is the IAAF representative here in the Bahamas, and she has been very, very active. And just as an aside, I'd also like to recognize the fact that our person that is head of media is our other Golden Girl, and that is Tonique Williams-Darling, who you will see walking around the floor. So she is very much engaged, and we utilize them to the maximum that we can.
Yes, Tonique Williams-Darling actually responsible for the setup of this room because she's the head of media services here, so a good success story for her again. I think at this point now, as we have here to our right, Michael Johnson, Frank Fredericks and Atto Bolden. I think we'll do a group photograph here now and then move on to the second part of our press conference. So thank you to the President, thank you to Mr. Parker, Sands and Haven, and Essa Gabriel, General Secretary. Thank you.